All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to break down a pretty serious warning about a huge financial shift that's just around the corner. All the material we've gone through points to one thing. By 2026, the rules of money that we all grew up with, they're going to fundamentally change. And that's creating a massive opportunity for some and a really dangerous trap for others. And, that's really the heart of it. While most of us are just caught up in the day-to-day grind, there's this enormous, kind of hidden mechanism of wealth that's shifting right under our feet. And this isn't just about the stock market going up or down. We're talking about a deep structural change that's going to create a massive divide between the people who get the new rules and those who don't. So what's the big deal with 2026? Well, a huge trigger is that a bunch of major tax laws are set to expire at the end of 2025. What that means for you is that the financial advice you've heard your whole life, the old playbook of get a good job and save, that's probably not going to be enough to protect you anymore. We're not just talking about another bad economy. This is a total transition. Okay, so let's get personal. How does this actually affect people? Well, this shift is set to expose something called the fake rich trap. You might also hear it called the high-income poverty trap, and it's this weird, really dangerous situation that affects way more people than you'd ever guess. So what is it? It's that person we all know who makes, say, 6 figures, but is absolutely drowning in payments. They've got all the stuff that screams success, the nice car, the latest gadgets, but their financial foundation is so shaky, they're literally one missed paycheck away from total disaster. And this is not some rare thing. The scale of this problem is, well, it's kind of shocking. The data shows that over 60% of high earners are living paycheck to paycheck. 60%. That is a staggering number. It just goes to show you how widespread this financial fragility has become. And here's why this is so incredibly critical right now. The cost of just financing that fake rich lifestyle is about to get a lot more expensive. So when this wealth transfer kicks off, the people with zero liquidity, no actual cash or assets they can sell quickly, they're going to be the most exposed. They won't be able to grab the opportunities or even just weather the storm. Okay, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about the solution, because there is one. Escaping this trap isn't about working 80-hour weeks or trying to chase an even bigger salary. No, it's about reaching a key financial threshold that completely changes the game. And that number is $20,000. The sources we looked at all point to this figure as the critical pivot point. Hitting this $20,000 barrier isn't just some random savings goal. It represents a fundamental shift in your own financial power. You see, getting that $20,000 in liquid assets is like having financial oxygen. It's the point where you finally get to switch from playing defense, just saving, to playing offense, which is all about building momentum. You can suddenly survive a dip in the market. And, more importantly, you can start making your money work for you instead of the other way around. I love this quote because it just nails the concept. Before you hit that 20 grand mark, your money is basically just sitting on the couch. But after you cross that line, it becomes your employee. It's actively out there, working day and night, generating more wealth for you. So how do you actually get there and put that money to work? The whole strategy really boils down to 3 core ideas. First, index funds and ETFs. It's a simple way to buy a tiny piece of the entire stock market, which spreads out your risk and lets your wealth grow steadily. Second is dividend investing. That's where you own shares in big companies that literally pay you just for owning them. And third, a low-effort budgeting system that you can automate so your savings just happen in the background without you having to stress about it. Let's just pause here for a second. I want you to ask yourself this question and be really honest. If your main paycheck just vanished tomorrow, how long could you actually survive? If that answer is less than 6 months, then you are not yet ready for the shift that's coming in 2026. And this brings us to a really fascinating part of the strategy, which is more about psychology, keeping your wealth invisible. The people who really win during these shifts, they often do it quietly. They don't flash their money around. Why? Because it protects them from social pressure and from that exact lifestyle inflation that traps everyone else. So building that kind of quiet wealth isn't about one giant heroic move. It's about a system of small, consistent habits. So let's bring it all together and talk about a concrete roadmap. Tiny little actions you can start taking today that will set you up for this major shift. Look, this isn't about overhauling your entire life overnight. It's about small, smart moves. Automate your investments so your wealth just builds in the background. Keep an eye on your credit score because that's your power when an opportunity shows up. Focus on hitting financial milestones like that first 20K, not just on your salary. and adopt some simple minimalist money rules to stop cash from just leaking out on things that don't really matter. And why is this so important? Because these moments of huge wealth transfer, they're rare, but they are incredibly powerful. The last time we saw a similar shift, the people who were positioned for it, the ones who just stayed consistent with these simple habits, they saw life-changing returns. 2026 could be that moment all over again. So, when you boil it all down, you're standing at a fork in the road. You can keep going down the old path, which is really a fast track into that high-income poverty trap. Or you can choose the 2026 path, the quiet, deliberate escape from the whole rat race. And that really brings us to the final, most important takeaway. This isn't some abstract thing happening in the distant future. Think of it as a deadline. According to this analysis, you have about 2 years to get yourself on the right side of this massive wealth transfer. The clock is ticking. So the only real question left is, what are you going to do at that time?